Okay. I'm gonna see what this actually does. I forgot to actually write anything in the description, but this is just a quick little like video stream about the whole WoW thing. Now, first of all, I should say right off the bat, I'm not a fan of World of Warcraft. So you're probably thinking to yourself, Pock, what? Why are you then trying to talk about WoW? What are you doing? What is your end goal here? You know, what is what are you trying to do with this little video of yours? Well, look, I know why WoW's failing. I know that's very arrogant of me, isn't it? That's ridiculously arrogant of me that you know I'm sitting here saying right now, oh look, a random person on the internet, knows more than Blizzard, a major corporation. Well, it's because I observe fandoms better than they are right now. And you can see by the reaction of some of the hardcore fans that are YouTubers saying, like, why did you shut this down? You have, Jontron and Boogie and Krendor, who actually has WoW in his name because that's how much he did did play on this. You know, it, you have these people saying, "Why'd you shut down this fan project?" All these people wanted to do was do something that you have explicitly stated that they're not allowed to do, which is they're not allowed to go back and play the vanilla version of WoW. And now, I'm a fan of Final Fantasy 11. I spent 10 years in the game, a decade. Just imagine that, a decade spent playing that game. And I love Final Fantasy 14. And I was there when Final Fantasy 14 launched. And I'm going to tell you this right now. When I got into WoW, I did play WoW. Don't get me wrong. I did play WoW back in the vanilla days. And I played WoW after Burning Crusades. And so I did play WoW. I just never found it as challenging as 14 as 11, sorry, as 11 was, because 11 required you to have a party. And once you get to that constant level of difficulty of leveling, for some bizarre reason, you get so bored. I would fall asleep leveling in WoW. I never made it to endgame because I'd fall asleep leveling in WoW because it was just so dull. It was so repetitive and dull, and just there was nothing that was different about any of it. And with parties, you had these great stories of like this really bad player, this really good player. You had this kind of dynamic that went on. And I'm sure if I'd done more dungeons or could have done more dungeons, because every time I joined, I never really got a. There was no queue back then, and I never really had a link shell. Or, I'm sorry, a guild that did much for me. So I never got that experience that other people had in WoW, where you had friends and you had these WoW adventures and dungeons. And if I'd had that, I probably would have kept playing. But when I jumped back into WoW, it was as alien to me as jumping into Final Fantasy 14, the original version, the 1.0 version from Final Fantasy 11. You see, the reason why Final Fantasy 14's initial version didn't work is because everyone had an expectation for where the game was going to go. This, Final Fantasy 11 2.0 concept. This idea that this game is just going to be what we love, but more of that. And they radically departed from that. They went an entirely different way, did entirely different mechanics. They took away a lot of what people loved about the game and gave them much that they didn't love. And that's exactly what they did when I got back into Blizzard's big, massive MMO. They had changed everything. I originally got in, I thought, okay, I'm going to do my skill tree. I'm going to spend, 15, 20 minutes doing some research on skill trees and get a new skill tree built up and everything. Nope, no skill trees. That's gone. Then I'm like, okay, well, what about guilds? Well, you don't really need a guild. You can just look for group. Sure, you won't get the best equipment, but you get to experience all the stuff and get some equipment. And what about dying? Is dying important? Not really. Not really. Dying is kind of meaningless now. It's kind of pointless to have happen. And it's still very hard to die when you're soloing in the areas, but when you do a raid and you die, oh gee, it's not like it's something major. You just run back and you guys just keep trying. It's there's no you just wait for more people to come in looking for a raid. You don't fail and have to come back to the next day and reschedule things. You just wait for more people to join your raid and finish the raid. And then finally, now they even gutted the skills further. There's even fewer skills to do. What they've been doing is they've been trying to gear this towards the casual player who's going to log in every so often, treat it like a Facebook game at times. That's what the Garrison was. And then they can go on their investor list. Look how many logins we have per day. Look at the numbers we have. These numbers show we're doing something right, but they're not doing something right. They're aggravating long-term fans for no reason. There's been money sitting on the table since the very first few expansions that if they just kept a vanilla WoW server online, charged the same fee, and just had another break, just broke it out and said, here you go. We have test realms, we have the main live servers, and we have the vanilla server. They could have kept all the subscribers that went over. I mean, there was something like 800,000 people that signed up for accounts over there, and there was between 150 and 170,000 people playing on this fan server. You're telling me that you're going to leave all that money on the table? It just sounds like dumb to me. It sounds wrong to me that they just left that money on the table. All they need to do was just provide what they had always provided in that space. Bug fixes every so often, but just put it in maintenance mode and say, here, this server is what it is. Enjoy it for what it is. Sure, they're not going to make huge money. I mean, even if you charge $15 a month, it's still going to be only what? I don't know, $1.5 million a month. Keep that in mind. If they had 100,000 people, just 100,000 people, that's $1 million a month. 1.5 million a month for keeping one server online, or one cluster of servers online. I mean, well, I'm sure these guys didn't have that much in resources. I'm sure they didn't have that many people on there. So yeah, there you go. You could have had $1.5 million a month every month since the first time someone asked for a vanilla server. If all you did was put that up, and that's conservatively saying that means these are the hardcore of the hardcore that did this. They're so hardcore, they went out of their way to find a way to make this game and found a way to play this game. Just imagine if you just had a bunch of casuals. How many people would you have kept just by having this old server that people can go and reminisce on and play on? I mean, EverQuest still has people playing it. EverQuest, the first big graphical MMO that was a success, still has people playing it to this day. And it's because they went for because they shot for the moon and we're gonna try and get everyone playing this game like you guys did. No, they continue to offer the same experience they've always had. They're offering this to everyone who can do this. So why not you? Just do it. Just do it. All you need to do is put the server back up. You'll get money. I'm telling you, you will get money. And you know what also will happen? If you give them $15 for all three types of servers, test realm, live server, and fucking vanilla realms, all that stuff, the current version for the oldest version, and for that, guess what's going to happen? People are going to get curious about your new version. People are going to log into that too. They're going to be like, well, I got this account. I'm bored. Let me go check out the new version. There you go. That's what you need to do. I'm a dumb person. I am not like this genius person when it comes to this. But I see what they did for Final Fantasy 14. The reason why 14 is as successful as it is, Jesus Christ if I can talk, is because they went full fan service with it. They went back, they listened to the fans. They put in all the jobs people wanted. They put in all the NPCs people wanted to see. They went back and they recreated the game to cater to the fans. And they had a success. They did something that no other MMO has ever done. They went from a closed, canceled MMO back to a subscribed and money-making MMO. Look, there's your example. There's your example right there. Do that. Offer that up. Offer WoW 1.0 back to the people. Say, here you go. Have it. Don't promise tons of goodies. Just say, here. This is what we had back in 08 or 2000 or whenever. Just dump that on there and say, here you go. There's your server. Play. And I'm being willing to bet you're going to make a bitch load of money on that. So just Here's my advice.